What's going on? Welcome to the Takeover. And as usual, I'm your girl Lauren. You ladies want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
I am Mel. It's Mel B313 on all social media.
And I'm Amber, Amber Giggles in Instagram, and just Amber Wright in Facebook.
All right, we're about to jump into it. First of all, before we really get into these topics today, how y'all doing? Seriously, how are y'all doing? Because this whole season, this season that we all been in has been a lot. So just kind of let's do a quick mental check-in and see how you ladies doing.
I'm okay. I'm making it. It's been a rough year. I'm glad it's coming to a close. I'm making it. I've had a very busy week, very busy day. I'm tired, but I'm happy I'm here. So there's that.
What about you, Amber?
I've been doing good. I've had a quote unquote funeral this week for my 20s.
Let it come to an end now.
I know. I did have a lot of fun.
Welcome to the 30s.
Thank you. I did have some fun though. I did a rest in peace of my 20s theme. So wore all black. I told my family to wear all black. I had a birthday cake with a little RIP to my 20s tombstone on top of it.
Mercy.
Yes, and then like I had on this dress and this hat actually grew to like this hat after the birthday was over. So I asked Patrick, I'm like, do I look like the Undertaker's daughter or something? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, be in there. So so took some pictures. It was actually nice. We went to Bahama Breeze. They food is definitely delicious, and yeah, and I went to work and I celebrated it a little bit at work, not really too much, but I just wore my little RIP to my youth shirt, and that was it. Yep.
Okay.
I mean, for me, it's been a season, but working, just working and things like that. Nothing, too much, not too much that I can't handle. Just a lot on my plate right now, but pushing through every single day. You guys do anything interesting this week at all?
Let's see. What did I do this week? It's been such a long week. I worked and I had an actual funeral. Um,
Oh, I'm
two
sorry.
Sorry.
Saturdays in a row. Um, and today something is interesting. We had our little Christmas program at church. We called it Christmas Cantata. Nice
Hmm.
little concert, had music and an orchestra and all of that. So that was nice. I saw a lot of little kids just happy about it and everything. So that was cool.
That's good.
Um, but other than that, just work and
That's
prepare
good.
for the day. This hot topic we got going on.
That's right.
Hey,
Um,
Marky.
Hey, Mark.
what's going
Um,
on?
yeah, for me this week, I did buy a new book. It's the title is kind of funny. It's called Fuck Anxiety. So it has like some nice helpful chapters to kind of like help train you to think differently and look at situations differently. Because I noticed that with me, my emotions are very intense when my anxiety level is high, and I do not like that because it's very hard for me to articulate in certain situations when I want to say something, but it's like I can't. It won't let me bring the words out because I'm just. It just makes me feel like a ball of emotions that got to sit still, and I
Right.
hate that. It feels like a volcano that got a lid on it. Like just screw it up because you don't want to blow up or say the wrong
Right.
thing or. Because I swear I'm one of the people that as soon as I open my mouth, next thing I know is like tears be flowing because I'm like, and then I don't like it. And then the person's
You
like,
gotta get mad and you start crying.
yes, because then it's I'm not crying because I'm upset. I'm like I'm crying because and so I'm like, you know what? I said, let me get that together because I'm usually
Right.
really good at articulating myself and vocalizing my points. And
Hmm.
I was like struggling this past couple of weeks with that because I feel like I was dealing with a lot at one time. And for the first time I felt like I don't have control over my emotions right now. And I'm like, I don't like that. So I bought a book and I haven't read it yet. I just bought it yesterday, but I'm looking forward to it.
What's the name of it again?
Fuck anxiety.
Oh, okay.
I like. I mean, I didn't do much
Sounds
in
like
it.
a good read.
All I
Mhm.
did was work. All I did was work this week. Ending out last week with a lot with the kids. Dance recital with London and band concert with Cash, and just working and getting prepared for Christmas and the New Year. And that's about it. My week has been pretty straightforward. So let's jump into the topics.
Yes, yes. We have
Right.
lots.
So we are going to be talking about a little bit of everything. We're going to be talking about Diddy and Young Miami. We're going to talk about Brittney Griner, and we're going to touch a little bit on at the very end something a little bit sensitive, but definitely needs to be spoke about. But we're going to leave that to that very end of it, okay? And then we're going to talk about Mr. Derrick Jaxn. Child. So I want to go ahead and let you girls go ahead and kick it off with whoever you want to start with. If you want to start with Brittney Griner, you go right ahead and jump in, and then we'll follow suit.
Okay. We can start with Brittany Griner because that one is very very controversial, and I would love to hear everybody's opinions on this. So just to give a little background for anyone who is not familiar with Brittany Griner all the way, she is an American professional basketball player for the Phoenix Mercury of the Women's National Basketball Association. And as of recently, she's been dealing with a situation being incarcerated in Russia. So I'm gonna just give a little brief timeline of her arrest up to her release. So on February 17th of this year, she was detained and arrested on smuggling charges by Russian customs officials after cartridges containing less than a gram of medically prescribed hash oil it was found in her luggage at and I cannot pronounce this. I'm not even going to try. It's an international airport, and she was playing basketball with the Russian Premier League during her WNBA off season. So after her arrest, her trial officially began on July 1st. And she pleaded guilty to the charges, but she had no intent to break the law. She wanted to make sure to let that be known. And she did have less than a gram of this hash oil, and it was medicinal cannabis, and it was prescribed to her in Arizona, but it's illegal in Russia. So on August 4th, she was sentenced to, hey, Alicia, she was sentenced to 9 years in prison. And in addition, she was fined 1 million of rubles, which equates to about $16,301 in US dollars. So in November of 2022, Griner was transferred to the Russian penal colony IK-2, which is a women's prison in Russia. And U.S. officials stated that she was wrongfully detained at one point. So on December 8th, she was released in a prisoner exchange for Russian arms dealer Victor Bout, I think is how it's pronounced. And he was serving he served 10 years of his 25-year federal prison sentence in the United States. So the controversy behind this release is that there's a few things about this. So first, her identity, for one, is one of the things that make this controversial. She's a famous celebrity or basketball player, and she's a Black lesbian woman. Some feel that had it been a white athlete or a male athlete, that there would have been more celebration for her release. And or some people feel like, like had it been an average person or an average, no, someone who wasn't famous, that this wouldn't be, she probably wouldn't have got released at all. In 2020, another issue or another reason why this is kind of controversial, some people feel like because in 2020 she had protested the Star Spangled Banner and stated that she was not going to, that she would not be on the court if they played the national anthem during the game opener. So she just would not participate in being out in the court while they sing the Star Spangled Banner. And some people felt like, that if she didn't stand for her country, then why should the country stand for her? And also her father is a Vietnam War vet. So people even felt like that was more disrespectful because she decided to protest against the Star Spangled Banner. So some Americans was like, wasn't feeling that. And of course, one of the most things that makes this controversial is that she was released instead of a veteran. The veteran was Paul Whelan, I think if I'm pronouncing it right. So President Joe Biden, he wanted to release both Brittney Griner and former Marine Paul Whelan. He was arrested in Russia on December 28th, 2018, because he was accused of spying. And on June 15th, 2020, he received a 16-year prison sentence for that. So according to government officials, however, they said they didn't have a choice. It wasn't Griner or Whelan. It was Griner or nobody. This kind of was the situation they were faced with. And President Biden quoted, "This was not a choice of which American to bring home. Sadly, for totally illegitimate reasons, Russia is treating Paul's case differently than Brittney's. And while we have not yet succeeded in securing Paul's release, we are not giving up. We will never give up." And this is per LAtimes.com. And people feel like it was an unfair trade as well. They said pretty much it's an unfair trade to give up someone as dangerously evil as Victor Bout, nicknamed the Merchant of Death, for someone who, with a scant national appeal as a women's professional athlete. Even though Griner is a two-time Olympic gold medal winner and WNBA champion who commands the court, she's 6'9". Her impact on this country, they feel, is minimal. And pretty much they just feel like that the Russia got a far better deal at this point. Mm-hmm. And people's rebuttal to that is it wasn't about the trade. It was about bringing an American home at this point. Mm-hmm. And that's the rebuttal to that. And again, this is all per LAtimes.com and these opinions. But since her release, first thing people notice is that her locks have been cut. So me personally, I didn't know if this was forced. I don't know how Russian prison works, but she did state that to avoid getting sick after washing her hair during the freezing cold temperatures in Russia, she decided to cut her locks. So that's just to put that out there, because I know me personally, I didn't know what happened, but But yep, so she's keeping her hair short now. And she's been spending time with her family, and she's been receiving mental health support in a Texas military facility as well. She is currently staying with her wife Sherelle Griner in a residential environment on base, according to CNN. Uh, Paul Whelan's family, the Marine, has spoken out as well since her release. They have shown support for Joe Biden's decision to swap Brittney Griner for Victor Bout during the deal. But again, Joe Biden, he explained that this was not really a choice. It just was kind of the situation that he was given. And so but they will still continue to negotiate for his release at this point. And the family stated that Brittney Griner's release gave them more hope if for Paul Whelan to be released at some point, which I could see that. They see if one person got released, they'd be like, okay, well, maybe he can also, maybe he'll be the next coming up. And this is per thecomeback.com. And according to CNN, Brittney Griner is also heartbroken about Paul Whelan remaining in Russia, and that she's committed to telling the story and making sure that the population of wrongfully detained Americans will begin to become known along with Paul Whelan, because there are others. So that is where we are. And of course, she has announced that she does plan to go back to playing pro basketball.
Okay. So that's a lot. The controversial part of it, I've been kind of looking at that a little bit. My opinion is, I'm glad she's out. I'm glad she's back. I'm glad she's safe. I just don't agree with them choosing her over the Marine. They should have, if anything, negotiated both of them coming back. And I know that that's not the card that he was dealt, but it's like, a Marines are frontline. Marines fight. They fight for this country. She plays basketball. And a lot of people feel like you shouldn't have brought her back over him. And I know that Biden didn't have that choice, but it really didn't seem like he fought hard enough to get both of them instead of just her. I don't know if that's my opinion.
So this is the thing. I have mixed emotions about it, because I feel like because she's Black and because she's a lesbian, we definitely needed to fight harder for her. Black women we get crapped on, shitted on so much. I don't believe it was ever her intent to break their law over there.
Right.
It was medical marijuana. So that's like weird, you know what I'm saying? Like it was
Right.
given to her by a doctor. So why give such harsh punishment by somebody who's on this is like medication? So
Right.
I honestly believe that this was Russia's intent the entire time to get the Merchant of Death out of there. And because they know that she is an NBA, WNBA player, this other guy was not. The guy Wheeler, he was not. He was not of such importance. Not saying that he wasn't important, but he was not of such importance that they would feel like the president would come to his rescue and trade him for, the Merchant of Death, And it hurts my feelings to see so many people saying that they should have just left Brittney in prison to do this 9 years. And I'm just like, that's wild that people would even think such a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was never her intent. We don't know Wheeler's actual intent. Maybe his intent was to be a Russian spy. Maybe he was over there to spy on them. So nobody truly knows his real intent. This girl went over there to do her job, which was to play basketball. And she had a medical reason for having this. It wasn't like she went over there and just like, oh, I got me an ounce a week. No, that wasn't even the situation. That wasn't the deal, So I just feel like that was kind of messed up. Now, on the backhand of it, though, I feel like she knew the law and she knew that it was still illegal over there in Russia. So why put yourself in a position to potentially get arrested? How long you plan on being over there? Could you have done without it? See, all these questions pop up in my head as time goes on. And I just comes back to me saying that don't take your Black ass over there. They don't like us. We should not be in
Not at all.
They don't like us. They don't like the US in general. And then you mean to tell me not only are we US citizens, We got the nerve to be black and
And
women
gay.
and gay going to a country that frowns
Mm,
upon. We're considered.
all of it.
Why did you take your ass over there? There's no job that important. You're not making that much money playing in Russia as opposed to you playing somewhere else as a female because WNBA players don't get paid shit any damn way because they're women basketball players. All the big bucks go to the men, and that's just real talk. So
That's
why
true.
put yourself in harm's way going way over there? You know what I'm saying? It's such a double-edged sword with this whole situation, and that's just kind of how I feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I definitely agree. Like, because what I had mentioned before, her identity alone is making this controversial. Because there's some people who feel like what you had said, Lauren. Like, especially because she's a black woman, that he should have. That we face a lot of issues as it is, just being black, and that he should have fought harder, or he should have, been able to. They feel like that's right. They feel like, well, we should get her back, especially because of her identity.
Right.
And just like Kevin had mentioned in his first comment about her being, and you was said the same thing, that she was kind of used as a pawn. They feel like, and that's why the punishment was that
Political.
harsh, because 9 years and it was under a gram. That is a lot.
Come on,
And
that's
you know what I'm
wild.
saying? And so like and some people really feel like we should not be mad about her release. Now, granted, the situation behind it, the negotiating and stuff like that, who was left behind in
Mhm.
the midst of all this, is I think is what really people are upset about. I don't think people are upset that she was released, but I guess they were more so upset about the situation that led to her release. It was like, okay, we couldn't get both back. But then again,
Right.
there are some people who are upset a little bit because they feel like had it been someone else, it would have been treated differently. But I personally didn't look at it that way. I just feel like that, more so. I just don't think that she deserved to be in a Russian prison for 9 years. You know what I'm saying? I just like
I
I
want
just
to. I'm sorry. I want to touch on what Ralph just said in his comment. He said that guys don't get paid more because they are guys. They get paid more because they have fan base in the entertainment. They get paid more because they're
Because
guys.
they're
It's in,
guys
it's in a
in
nutshell.
every
It's a
industry.
nutshell. Period. Let's
In
just
every
talk. Let's,
industry.
let's talk about that for real. When you look at a lot of these female basketball players, a lot of them are not very attractive to men because they either have the structure of a man already. So not many men want to even look at that going up and down the court. But when it comes to basketball men, first of all, the men want to see men play basketball because they relate to it. Women want to see men play basketball because they're sexy. Period. So yes, the men get paid more because they are men and they bring in a higher fan base because they are what? Men.
Men.
So we're not about to sit here like who's lining up to see who play. Like this is the whole thing though. Who would you rather see play? Would you rather see Brittney Griner play basketball, or would you rather, may he rest in peace, see Kobe Bryant play basketball? Who would you actually sit there and purchase tickets to see? You're not gonna go to a WNBA game to see Brittney Griner play. You're gonna go and see Kobe. Same thing with
Yeah.
LeBron. Same thing with all these other fools out here. What's that other fool that got the bad feet? I don't know. It's one of them got really bad feet. I don't but I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying. But see, this is the thing. People tend to put more entertainment into men than they put into women. So that's the reason why they would rather, exactly, be honest. You would rather see a man play these sports than you would see a woman. So that's the reason why men get paid more. These women, I mean, come on. Some women in WNBA are fine. Yes, they are. But they're not, those are the ones that's being a little bit overshadowed by the big names that we actually do know as WNBA players. So like, anyway, I said what I said. They
yeah.
get paid more because they have a penis.
Yeah. But back to
And
like the political part of it, I do feel like it's politics on both sides. Obviously, we know what Russia's game is with trying to get him back. But also, she got two minorities going for her. And Biden always goes after black people for votes.
Hmm.
Always. And you better not leave nobody gay nowhere. You
Right.
better go get them.
Right.
So you have a march and a half going on right
Mhm.
outside the White House.
Right.
So her being black and her being a lesbian definitely is a political move because the Marine has nothing to really offer when you really look at it
That's true.
politically.
Mhm.
Even though, like I said, I mean, I'm glad she's out because honestly, their prisons are not like our prisons. Our prisons are probably like hotels
Child,
Yeah.
where was
compared to
this six foot
theirs.
nine
Like,
female?
look at this. That's
Where was
crazy.
she sleeping at? 6'9". How we
Yeah.
Right. Like
come
her
on?
legs probably on can't even fit through the little holes there. Like, their prisons are not like our prisons.
No, it's
She
not.
would have had a hard time over there. Ain't no telling what the Marine is going through.
And then
So
also the fact that she's gay, she could have been subjected to being raped multiple times because they feel like, well, we're going to change her mind.
yep,
You know what I'm saying? They look at stuff like that in these countries. I mean, if they do that here in our prison systems, just imagine what they do, and they get away with everything they do to women in these
everything.
countries. Like,
Everything. Because
so
women are looked at as less than, not just here, everywhere.
needless to say, I'm happy she's home. I do pray that the Biden administration continues to fight to get Willa out. If indeed his innocence is proven, I hope they do continue to fight to bring him home, because he deserves to come home just as much as she did.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much how I feel about that.
And she also said that she wants to aid in, helping getting him back home. I don't know what she can do
I think she need to
to
sit her
help
ass
him.
down.
She
She's done
said
enough.
she planning on playing this season with
Hmm.
Phoenix.
Yes,
I
here.
don't know if that's a good
Hmm.
idea or not, whatever. But she plans on playing. I think that's the lane that she needs to stay in
Yeah,
because ain't nothing she can do to help Biden. Do
she needs to
I
sit
nothing.
think
her
I
ass
think
down.
what she said is probably the most she can do, which is just spread the word, tell your
Hmm.
story,
That's it.
and that's
No more
it.
than what we could do.
That's
Yeah,
it.
Like and share.
and that's all I read that she said she was gonna do. And honestly, that's the
Yeah,
best she
because
can do.
truly
And she
she
has a
has nothing.
platform.
Truly, she has nothing else to offer. Absolutely. I agree with Ralph. She needs to
Absolutely.
keep quiet and stay out the light. She's
Yeah.
home now. She needs to use her silence as a bigger
Mhm.
standpoint to build up, to what she needs to say longer down the line. Nothing right now. Be thankful that you're
Right.
home for Christmas. Be thankful that you're home for the new year, and just hush.
And I'm
So if
glad that she's taking. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
if
I'm
for
talking
any
about
reason,
Brittney.
if for any reason
Go
that
sit
this
down.
podcast episode gets to Brittney, shut your mouth. You got a lot of making up to do with your wife. Get home, get the munching, and chill out. That's all you need to do, baby girl. You ain't got to do nothing else. You didn't cut all your dreads off, so you ain't got nothing getting in your way. Get down there and just do what you got to do. Keep wife happy. Eat your Christmas, dinner, and be quiet. That's
Yeah,
all, baby. You ain't got to do
yeah,
more.
yeah, and I'm glad that she is actually getting she's focusing on her mental health as well, because they said that's an adjustment to be in there for as
Oh,
long
okay.
as she was. And hey, mama. Uh, and so, but yeah, I'm glad that she, that she's focusing on that, because they said even down to the diet, like just imagine eating,
Hmm.
whatever food you're forced to eat, and you as athlete, you used to eating healthy,
Right.
working out, and so she's focusing on the right things for the most part, spending time with her family and just trying to get her mind right.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that's where it need to be.
So
That's
yes, welcome home, Brittney. Welcome home.
yeah,
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Let's
mm,
move on to the next topic.
yeah.
So what we doing next? Who we got up next? We doing Diddy and Young Miami. Whoo,
Oh,
okay.
Jesus.
I'm
You want to
excited
give us a
about
little background on them?
I'm excited about Diddy and Young Miami. And only because I'm here for it, but I'm not. Okay, so this is the thing. I
They
don't know
cute.
exactly when this whole thing started. It somehow kind of broke news towards like the end of fall. I mean the end of spring of this year. That they were kind of like having something going on, that they was doing something or whatever, but it wasn't actually confirmed that they were dating each other until like closer towards the summertime, the end of summer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm
Mhm.
not sure exactly how old Diddy is, nor do I care, but I know he's definitely over
53.
50. Okay, so he's 50,
53.
53, and Young Miami is 20 something, but she's not 30 yet.
His child.
She, and she does have two children. Young Miami has two kids. She has a son from a relationship from some years ago, and then she also has a daughter, I believe, by I don't know, was he? He's a rapper. Is it Southside? Southside. He's a rapper. So that's what she has baby about. Diddy got a bunch of kids. He got kids that biologically belong to him. He also has kids that he's adopted from women that he's dated over the years that, don't belong to him biologically. And then most recently, it just came out that he had a baby 2 months ago with some other little young, spicy, caliente chick or whatever. This is my thing. So Young Miami is cool with this. She's cool with the fact that he has had this new baby. And I think it's because she doesn't see necessarily longevity in it. Everybody's coming down on her about it, but I think that she's doing exactly what she should be doing. She's having fun. This man gives her a $500,000 a month allowance for her to go do what she shall please with it. And he's
Mhm.
okay with it. Now, this picture that you see is of the most recent girl that popped up this week that he's was
After he announced the baby.
right. And he was caught kissing her or whatever, something like that. Listen, Diddy is almost 55 years old. He does not see commitment in his future. So he's just bouncing from chick to chick. And I'm honestly on the wave of, if these women allow it, why do we care? Why do we have such harsh things to say? And I understand that they talked about this thing of we need to know our worth. That's fine. She knows her worth. She knows her worth at this point with Diddy is $500,000 a month. I personally wouldn't ask for that much because I already know I got stretch marks. She ain't got no stretch marks, so she didn't got rid of hers. So if Diddy wanted to give me 100K, I'd take that and be happy. Beggars can't be choosy. But they're
Right.
enjoying each other's company. There's clearly a connection that they have there, on a different level where they understand what they're doing. She may be out there talking to other men. He clearly is out there talking to other women, but they're just enjoying each other and what each other have to offer. You know what I'm saying? And then
Right.
people talk so bad about her allowing him. She's not allowing him to do anything because they're not in a full-on committed relationship. And then let's think about it. It's a lot of us out here fucking for lobster dinners. A lot of us out here getting laid on our back for $40 or less, or just, if you buy me and the baby something to eat. So this girl is getting 500K a month. We should be congratulating her. She's doing well. And she's still a recording artist. She has her show. So she's banking her own money in addition to what this man is giving her every month. I'm
Right.
just saying, I'm here for the whole thing. And when it becomes too much for her, she'll know. And then eventually she'll back out of it. But until then, Young Miami, I say get that money, baby. So you ladies,
No.
y'all think.
I mean, it's funny because I don't even know what. I mean, I guess the issue is that people are academic. DJ Academic. He recently came out and called her a side chick, and she had to come out and kind of regulate. And
Mm-hmm.
but even on, she did an interview with XXL magazine or whatever. I think that XXL magazine, whatever. And it was released or published in September of this year, and she literally is saying what it is, and I quote. She says, "We are dating. We're single, but we're dating. People don't know what dating means. He's single, I'm single, but we're dating." And she says, and that's what I mean when I say we go together. We're together. When we're together, we are together. But we're having the time of our lives, but we're still single. I'm doing me. He's doing the same thing. I can't speak for exactly what he's doing or who he's seeing, but we're single and we're dating. So, and that's just to me, that's just it in a nutshell. So
Period.
people, of course, there was a lot of controversial things that was happening where they was kind of still looking at her and him sideways because he was on the BET Awards, and he won that what was it that he won? It was the Lifetime Achievement Award. And
Right.
during his acceptance speech, she had a Go
Go
Poppy sign,
copy. Uh-huh.
and in his speech he thanked his exes and didn't acknowledge her on stage, and I was kind of like, and even despite if someone's just talking, just dating, they felt like, dang, you could at least gave her, so some people did kind of just speculated and saw some stuff that they wanted to speak out about.
Right.
But he did make sure And it could have been because he knew he probably was wrong for that. After that, he made an Instagram post showing his appreciation for her support that night, holding a sign, and the caption, it was a picture of her, and the caption was like, "This is one of the sweetest things anyone's ever done for me. Thank you, Shawty Wop." And I guess that's what he calls it. So but she went in on academics. I don't even think I could read what she said.
Right.
The stuff that she says make me feel about 40 years older. I'd be so appalled. But
She definitely went in.
yeah, she
And
went in. And then she started getting into it with his exes too. She was going back and forth with that. That was another one that was kind of bad.
Yeah, that's the little Asian girl.
Yeah,
They've been going at it for some months now.
they
yeah,
have.
they have. And I guess when he had announced his baby being born, Love Sean Combs, I think is the baby's name. Gina Quinn, I think is how you pronounce her last name, made a little slick remark talking about yeah, when you beefing out over somebody and he gets somebody pregnant. And of course, Young Miami, real name Carisha. I didn't know that. Even JT, the other girl in the City Girls duo that she part of, started, kind of helping her out, like, hey, and I kind of feel bad for her though, because at the end of the day, she know her situation with him. So I kind of feel bad because it's like, she even gave him a chain for his birthday. That he's so extra. He's so extra. He
Can
was
I
like,
just say this again? She getting $500,000 a month.
exactly.
She is. She is.
I'm just saying.
That
She
is
I'm
is.
just saying. What's the
Aside
problem?
from her allowance,
For
I
real.
don't. I really don't feel like she went into this thinking that it was gonna be just dating. 'Cause she wouldn't have got on TV like we go together on her show
Hmm.
right.
without like, and then after the fact, all of a sudden it's like, oh, when we're together, we're together. When we not, he doing his thing.
Hmm.
No, you just said y'all go together. Then he checked you after your show and
He
let you know
probably did. He
we
probably
not
did.
together. I'm
Right.
doing my thing and you a part of my thing. And then now she's saying, when we together, we together. All in all, she's still sticking around. She ain't got no problem with the baby. She ain't got no problem with all these other chicks. She probably got her own thing going on. The dude she probably messing with, keeping quiet. They
Well,
probably
did you
done
see
signed her.
recently, just this past week, the game was shooting his shot at her, and she commented and said, "I'm single." First of all, the game, I need him to sit his ass down because he always trying to shoot his shot at some damn body's daughter. And he get on my nerve. The only reason why I'm worried about this whole brotherly love with Young Miami thing is because he is much older than her, and I feel like the manipulation is going to start to set in, like he had Cassie for a long
Already
time.
did. Already did.
And I feel like, he had Cassie wound for so long. And when she finally broke hold of that, look what God blessed her with, a
Yeah.
husband, a baby, two babies, three
Mhm.
babies. She just having a good life now. Um, I don't trust Diddy. I don't trust that any of
No.
his intentions are pure when it comes to anyone in his life. Um,
No.
I just feel like he's always out for the next step up. What can I do? And this is right up his alleyway. I bagged Young Miami. That's perfect for him and his showboaster type of attitude. That's the only
Yeah.
thing that bothers me about it is that of all the people she could have picked, she picked Diddy. Like,
Yeah, because it's a lot of, because even down
She
to
wanted
his
that old money.
right,
she wanted that old school. Oh, that's
That
that
old
old
money.
wealth.
That old money.
That's
right.
that I sold my soul 30 years ago wealth.
Right.
And then
Right.
it's like, because even down to the girl he has a child with recently, because they didn't know who she was at first, but it's been
Mhm.
released by TMZ. Dana Tran, 28 years old, and he's just and then because at one point they thought that him and Young Miami actually split up, whatever you want to call an open relationship breaking up, but then like because I think they had noticed that both of them, I guess back in November they had like removed the photos of each other off of Instagram. So they were like, okay, what's going on? And then not too long after that, she posts a picture up on her Instagram like she in a room full of roses, and the caption, or like she made a caption saying, you know, I think I read the caption. It was something like, "Oh, the way you make me feel," something like that, and it was a note left by him with the roses saying "Love Poppy." So it's like, you know, it is kind of, to me, it's for it to be an open relationship. I don't know about her, but you can't leave me in a room full of roses, and I think that's like not trying to get in my feelings. You know what I'm saying? In a different kind of way. And then I'm saying stuff like, "Oh, the way you make me feel." It's just what they define as an open relationship, or he doing him and I'm doing me. In my opinion, it's kind of overstepping that a little bit, because I know if it's a guy I'm dating and I come in the room and I got a room full of roses, it's not,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I do think that there's deeper feelings there than I think that she's
Of
trying to be
course.
like. Because I think when she get caught out for being a side chick, or for him dating other women, or being caught kissing up on models and stuff, that's her defense. Oh, we're not, together. I know,
Mhm.
but I just feel like, to me, to an extent, in my opinion, it's a little bit of a defense. I think some of that is kind of like,
And you know
Of
what? Let's
course.
be
Of
and
course.
let's not sleep on Young Miami. You know, this might be a whole business thing as well, because since she
right,
started messing him, she got her own show, Carisha
right,
That's what I
Three.
see.
So you know
Carisha,
what I'm saying? This could be a business deal on both their ends, to be honest with you, you know?
Yeah.
So
and
we don't really
definitely,
know the true underlying intent of why they're even together. Now there may be feelings. I do believe, first of all, there's no way you can have a sexual encounter with someone multiple times and there not be any feelings. So I'm pretty sure there are feelings there on both ends. It's just to which level of the feelings belong to who. But I really feel like this is definitely a business deal. Young Miami is trying to get herself out there. She got out there as a city girl, and she's trying to really climb the ladder to doing other things. So now
right.
that she has her own show, I feel like this is definitely what she was doing. Who better to get underneath, but Diddy? I mean, this man has his hand in so many pots, So the next thing I feel like gonna come out, she gonna have her own alcohol. Like she going, and then that
Yeah.
might be a split deal where he, might do something with her with Ciroc, and it might be a city girl. So she might be making all types of business deals off of sleeping with this man that don't the world has no idea about. And if she is, then my hat off to her, because that's what you're supposed to do. Because men do it to us all the time. They use us for certain gains of certain things. Why
Mm.
not? Why not use that man? So I'm here for it.
Hey, she pretty much living up to the music that she rap about. Like, you know, she a city girl. This is what they claim to be about, and we seeing it firsthand. So
You know,
if
them
that's
Florida
just what she
girls is
doing, that's what she
different.
doing.
You know, them Florida girls, they cut different. The
Yeah,
Miami
yeah.
girls, they cut from a different cloth. You know, us up north girls, we be catching feelings, we be falling in love. We be
Be
like, oh,
ready to slash some tires and
we be
bust
like,
some
oh,
windows.
it's okay. You work, you a manager at McDonald's. At least you got a job. We be settling for anything, long as there's some type of love attached to it. Not them Miami, them
No,
Florida girls. They be like, what
where
you
the
bringing to
bag
the
is.
table? How much money you bringing to the table for me to feel like this is worth my time? Like, so you never know.
Yeah, never know.
Yeah.
But also, even though she may be in it for the bag, I see the feelings and I see the manipulation.
Right,
Like you mentioned, the manipulation with Cassie, I think it's already happened with Young Miami. Like it's already happened. Like she's
right.
just playing along,
Mhm.
or he checked her and she was like, "Oh, that's where we at. Okay, cool. Well, because she broke up with him real quick, then they
Hmm.
got back together.
That's
She
because
probably
he
got back
lowered
with
her.
him like, okay,
That's
so this is
because
what
they
he said.
lowered.
This is the game. I'm gonna go with it.
He lowered her allowance.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they broke
The
up.
two
He
hundred,
Mm-hmm.
lowered
the
her
two
allowance
hundred
down to
thousand dollars.
right,
That's
right.
so crazy. I'm like, to 200. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Lowered her allowance. How childish is that?
I'm
But
just
she
saying.
probably she probably like, all right, this about to be business. I'm gonna get back with him, but this just about to be business from
And
here on
and but
out.
this is the weird thing about it though. What if this was the plan the whole time? What if this was the plan the whole time? What if this was like a business deal? They do this stuff in the industry all the time. They do fake
Right,
industry
right.
beefs. Sometimes it gets taken too far, unfortunately, and we end up having a Tupac and Biggie situation. But then a
Yeah.
lot of times they do this stuff. They play artists against each other. They hook people up. They do certain pitches with people and do videos with people to make it look like something that is not. and it's all for business. So this could also be an agreement type of business deal for the both of them. You know what I'm saying? Because
I know.
he messed things up with Cassie.
Right.
He had Cassie for a long time. He messed things up with Cassie. Then the ex girlfriend, baby mother died, Kim, and he was professing his love up to her while laying next to Cassie. So, what better way to really get himself back out there than to attach himself to somebody that's hot and popping right now, somebody who's willing to do it? Because Diddy is just not it. I'm just saying, he got
Diddy
the
was just he just goes with what's relevant at the time. He attached
Mhm.
himself to Lori after his son was with her. You
Right,
know, he attached himself to a city girl now because this is what's relevant right now. Everything that's relevant, Diddy want to be a part of so he can stay relevant. And then on the flip side, he's already relevant. So the people, the newcomers coming up, of course they're going to attach themselves to them because it's Diddy. Who
right.
would?
You see what
Even if
Ralph
for a
said?
short time.
Ralph to myself for 500K. They can manipulate me. Listen, I'm with you on that one. Listen,
I'll let you shoot my big toe off.
I'm willing to lay down and have a baby with Nick Cannon at this point because don't none of them women work.
Now,
Oh God, please, we
Oh,
can't
none
I
of
have
them
don't
you
women
know we
work.
can't.
got
So
talking about
I'm
him.
willing to.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I don't even want to get started on that.
I
No.
don't know. I was
He,
reading about that too.
I'm
I
just
don't know.
saying, I'm willing to
She
do
can
it
go there.
too. Listen, I'm married. I'm not leaving my husband. We just gonna have to take. He just gonna have to take this. He just gonna have to deal with this.
Where's
Listen,
Stevie at?
we about
but
to
you
have a little
mentioned
cannon
he
up in this house, but
Stevie about to knock all of that shit over there.
oh my God.
Doing that.
No, but like,
Stevie
but
will
y'all
be
got a point
fine.
though. Y'all got a point
It's just
because
business, baby. It's just business.
because
Business.
they even announced their dating rumors on her show. He appeared as a guest on her Carisha Please podcast, and
Yep.
then that's when it was announced that they were
Mhm.
dating but not together, or whatever you want to call it.
She said
Uh,
we go together.
yeah,
For real, baby.
right.
$6 million
And I guess when she had to
gambling.
clarify, when I say we go together, I mean when we're together, we're together. So I was
Hmm.
like,
That
okay.
was the manipulation of it all.
I
So
just yeah. I mean, but like y'all said though, if she living her best life, but you're not about to tell me that you're gonna cut my allowance. Like
you see, of course, here come my goddamn husband with his comment. We gonna take them checks and I'm gonna whoop his ass. You ain't gonna touch my baby father, nigga. You better sit your ass down.
Right.
You better touch
Gotta
my
keep
baby
them checks
father.
coming, Stevie.
Shit, you better go up out of here. Look, I'm about to
Muscle.
be a stay-at-home wife for the rest of my life. You ain't gonna touch my baby daddy. You just gonna answer them questions accordingly. We were on a break. So and shit happens.
It happened.
But
more power to him.
okay.
Lord have mercy.
Oh Lord. So we ready for this last
Oh baby.
situation.
Let's talk about Mr. Derrick Jaxn. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and kick this one off.
Mr. Derrick Jaxn and Danae Jackson have finally
Child, it's
announced that they are getting a divorce. Uh I tried to find when they first got married. I don't remember when they how long they've been married or whatever, but everybody knows the relationship guru. He's been all over social media for the past 5 years or more, talking about how relationships, giving women advice on relationships and all of that, and a champion for Black women in relationships and how they should be treated and all of that, all the while cheating
all,
on his wife
all the while.
repeatedly, not just with one, not just with two, but many women. And the picture we're seeing now is his latest woman, who blogger Tasha K found out that he was dating this new young lady, and then shortly after that, he announced that he and his wife were getting a divorce. I low key feel like his wife found out when we found out
Mm-hmm.
that they were getting a divorce, but whoever files first, I don't even care. I'm happy it's happening because this woman has gone nuts. He has driven this woman crazy. The last video I saw was of her basically putting a curse on everybody that speaks against her marriage. This was like, it was a couple of weeks before he announced they're getting a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's been pictures of her in the swimming pool, fully clothed, and all of this and that, and she's sitting there. The picture we just saw with her helmet of salvation bonnet on. It's it's uh it's a tight situation. I feel for her. I feel for her mental health. I'm concerned about her mental health. It just does not look good at all. But
Right.
I'm glad they're getting a divorce. I've never said that about anybody ever in life. But I'm seeing that maybe she can get herself together
Right.
and be happy, get away from him. Hopefully, this new chick that has surfaced is not somebody that is staying long. Maybe, hopefully, she's here for a good time and not a long time, because anybody that hooks themselves
Uh,
up with this guy and says they want to be with him seriously,
mm-hmm.
something has to be wrong with them. After everything that you've seen these last few years, there's no way in the world somebody should be trying to be with him for real, for real.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
they've only been married for 4 years, by the way. That's a lot
But
to have.
they but
And
they've been together since high school. They've been together since they were 14 years old.
right,
So they've been together for quite a while. They went through college together. They've been together for
mhm,
20 years.
yeah,
Pretty much. So yeah, it is the art of manipulation. He's learned it very well. He built his career off of tearing down black men, which I am not here for. I'm not here for
um,
tearing down our people. Now, to give us sound advice, to give us things to look out for, to give us things like that, I'm here for that. But he made it seem like all black men weren't shit. In
mhm.
actuality, he was talking about himself. I'm not here for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely here for understanding that there's a lot of men that ain't shit, but it's a lot of women that ain't shit either.
It's true.
And so for you
yeah.
to sit here and try to just sit and tear down black men so bad, that made me deter from him because
To
you're
me,
not
that's
putting
a
the
lot.
right information out there. You're luring in women with daddy issues. You're
Right.
luring in women who have low self-esteem because this is what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody to attach themselves to, somebody that they can believe in. And when it sounds good,
Mhm,
they believe it is good because that's what they want to
mhm,
hear. And
mhm.
it's just not good. It's bad for business. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
his I believe she might have already been crazy. The wife, I feel like she's kind of already been a little loopy loop. But I feel like for a long time, Derrick may have felt like they started out as such a young couple. He felt the need to stay with her,
Mhm.
because she was an easy target. She was an easy mark. You know, she needed a man, any type of man, and because she had fallen so deep in love with him that he was like, well, I could just build my career and just have somebody to support me, and it's just using her the whole way. But he had no real intention on growing old with this woman because she's clearly crazy. This is
Mm.
not new crazy. This is old crazy. She's been crazy
This is
for a
a
while,
broken. This is a years,
years.
years.
And
This
I
is a
always,
broken person.
man, look, I always said if I ever have to sit next to my cheating husband on a YouTube channel that has millions of viewers, I'm coming there
You
dressed to the gods. You are not, you
what?
are going to see me. But
Right. I'm not gonna wear
for
no
real,
bonnet. That's for sure.
and yeah, like I swear, like she to me was like, because I can't imagine finding out that your husband, not only was he cheating on you with multiple women, but you brought these women into our home and into our bed.
Right,
That
right,
it will make anybody. And then you're trying to, and then of course she tried to justify it, not justify it, but she was saying that she did leave. So she wanted, she said, I did leave him, and and I didn't come back until I saw that there was a change. But with him being the obvious manipulator and narcissist that he is, and you have to be a
right.
narcissist to tell on yourself in third person. Yes, I'm Derrick Jaxn. Derrick Jaxn made
Yeah.
mistakes. Derrick Jaxn did step out on his wife. And I'm like, and then he not only did he refer to himself in third person, but he did a reaction video on
In
himself,
third person.
trying to
Right.
in third person, trying to make light of the situation, trying to be funny. And your wife just had to put out all her business out there because regardless of what she was putting putting up with, I'm sure she didn't want nobody in the world to know that. We've all been in relationships where we were trying to work through our own toxic situations behind the closed doors. Not everybody in your business. And he thought it was funny or would have made light of the situation to make a reaction video. And he's made money doing this stuff. He's become
Yeah,
successful
of course.
on his YouTube channel. He's wrote books, self-help books, and claimed himself to be a relationship guru, giving advice to these women. And like you said, a lot of men actually that I saw could not stand this man from day one, because every
Hmm.
video or every situation that he's analyzed, he put the men at fault and
He
saying
all the time.
all the time. And to me, that was a red flag, because anytime a man tries to make himself seem like he's a pedestal or he's like the ideal man to be with, and like that's, to me, that's
Mhm.
already like, what are you trying to prove? And
You definitely pandering at this point.
yeah, and like you said, people are thinking that she didn't know about this divorce, because I think it was almost day, not like days before, because of course the picture really got released to him and his new girl, or his possible new girlfriend, or whoever she was, and she said that curse, and that curse
Mm.
was like, and I swear to God, I quote, "May your husbands and wives become widows. Let your children become fatherless. Uh, let your,
That's deep.
like, you know how dark that is. Let the
It's so
words,
And
deep.
she talking about in the name of Jesus.
yes, and then you gotta
Hey,
know to
have a
say,
good day. What?
yeah, let the
That's
words of
so.
your mouth and the words of your hands be returned back to you. Let it go down your throat and choke you slowly until your days become few on earth." Like the word of God
Ain't
says.
nothing
So
godly
you know
about
what
that.
she's doing? Let me tell you something right now. I'm telling you right now. She is doing that because she grew up. She clearly grew up in the church. That's old school. Because I'm gonna tell you about them old church mothers. Them old church mothers used to be the ones that say, "I pray that nothing works out for you until you do right by Jesus." They would do that to
Yeah.
you. Baby, listen, that's why I can't do them church mothers, because I'm not that kid
Mhm.
no more. I'm gonna tell you, and whatever you say to me, may it bounce off of me and jump on you. Because like I'm gonna be
Right.
petty with these old mothers. So yeah, that's what she was doing. But like I said, she's old crazy. So clearly this is some trauma that she's been through as a child. And
Hmm.
this is just carried over into her adult life. And she hasn't worked this out. You know what I'm saying? I like this is why I couldn't understand. I could understand, but not necessarily understand why people hated Kevin Samuels so much. Because yes, he down talked and said some things to people, especially women. But what a lot of people didn't see was he did it to men too. It's just that the women, the views of the women interviews were higher than the views of the men, the men
And then
interviews.
he's
But Kevin
concentrating
used
on.
to, he used to be tearing men asses up. You understand me? Like I watched all of his shows. You know what I'm saying? Not once did he just play on a certain gender like Derrick Jaxn did. All he ever did was talk so bad about black men and this and the third. And I'm just like, there's something up with this guy. You know what I'm saying? And I honestly feel like he got some mental issues himself.
Of
Um,
course.
he's just a little bit more put together than the wife is. I feel like through all of his years of mental abuse towards his wife, the cheating and things like that, that's just kind of really
Mhm.
sent her over the edge. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Of
But they're just
course.
this is the house full of crazy, and there ain't nowhere in this world I'm gonna sit here and be like in the same house with you after you didn't got caught cheating. Then went on YouTube, made a joke about it. Y'all better call me Ike Turner today. Just change my name
I'm just
because I'm
waiting. I'm just
whooping
waiting on
his
the
Right.
comment
ass.
from Mark to come at this point, because he always. I'm just waiting on Mark to make it. No, I
Cause
feel you though. And then like he announced this divorce on December 10th or whatever, and so this is very recent. Like this is days. Like this is probably she
it's
probably reading this
crazy.
still, and he like and I'll read what he put, because I'm like, okay, like he making it seem like they talked about it, but for her to make that curse, and then after that he says that, it's like I wouldn't be going in that hard on my audience for my marriage if I knew
No.
I was getting divorced. GC said, over the past several months, my family and I have gone through many changes. Some of you have speculated, while others of you have reached out to other support, as we probably established this new normal
Look
for
at this
ourselves and
lady.
our beautiful children. Earlier this year, after much prayer, counseling, and deep consideration, we decided to go our separate ways and filed for divorce. Making the decision to file was one of the hardest decisions of my life, but I found peace knowing that our mission of raising healthy children, starting with healthy and whole parents, is still being accomplished. From falling in love as just teenagers to becoming spouses and now co parents, I'm grateful for the years we spent together and wouldn't trade them for anything. I was blessed to have such an amazing person in my life and will forever be thankful for all she's meant to our family. And so,
But you know
and
what?
so
She's
He's
crazy
such
enough
a
that maybe she
narcissist.
did know.
hmm,
She's
You said
crazy
that
enough.
again?
I said she's
yeah,
crazy enough. Maybe she did know. Maybe that was the reason why she
and
did that whole
she
thing. Maybe he had been mentioning this to her, for the
to
last
her.
couple of weeks or something. And maybe that's why she put that whole
She had
evil
faith.
spirit mantra out there.
Yeah,
She had
because I
faith.
think it's weird that he would take a picture with somebody who he's supposedly cheating. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
maybe
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but when he was cheating before, I didn't see pictures like this. I didn't see him taking casual pictures
not
with
frozen.
mistresses.
Yep.
He was
So I
having.
do think that they, I feel like he might have talked to her about this, and because he's just out here doing them, and he not, and then in the post he said we've decided to we filed like, and then it could be, I could be wrong, or maybe he put that in there and they didn't actually file, but I'm like, okay, well, I think like you said, I'm like, maybe she was just so far so deep that she didn't even
Mhm.
like, because she too busy trying to put curses on people, so
I
Well,
feel
you know what? I'm gonna
like
say this. Unfortunately, one trait that women hold very dear to them that men don't typically have is we are very delusional creatures. We will make things out to be what we want it to be at times. We will make things out to seem the way we would like them to seem. And it's not necessarily what it is. We look at our relationship and we may say, I want things to go for the better. And that man could be telling us dead to our face, I am not happy. This is not what I want. And we will sit there and still go against what this man is saying because it's not what we want. So we have very high moments that we are absolutely delusional. And when you mix delusional with already pre-crazy, with old school crazy, that's just I'm gonna put a hex on the world.
yeah,
I'm gonna just throw her
just
out there. Shabba shabba do.
right, she thought
May
she had
all your
that
households fall apart. So that could have been it too.
yeah, yeah,
So
she
you
was
yeah.
never
But
know.
I feel like this is years of what we seeing now of her is years of being manipulated. They've been together since they was, would you say, 14?
yeah,
14
Years of
years.
being manipulated. They only, just the fact that y'all been together for all these many years and y'all just got married 4 years ago. How much manipulation did he do to her to have her stay with him all these
Yep.
years and not be married? He
right.
found a broken person, even at 14. She probably let
Yep.
him do whatever he wanted to do. He probably had many girlfriends in high school,
I think
many
they broke up.
girlfriends in college, and decided and probably told her, when we get married, that's when I'm gonna leave everybody alone. We aren't married, so we don't need to be committed. I'm not committed to anybody because I'm not married. But when we get married, though, I'm gonna be committed. That's probably
Well,
what
this
made her
is the thing.
stay.
He did not have that. Derrick Jaxn was he was a little oinker in college. He was a little piggish. He had the little gut. He was not as built up as he is right now.
I saw
He
him.
played
I
football.
really
He
like
played
that.
football in college, and I think he had like X amount of yards. He didn't. I don't even think he broke like 20, more than 20 yards his entire college football time. So he was not Lance Sullivan from The Best Man. He was not all that fine and getting 100 yards per game. He was not that nigga. So I feel like I feel like he took what he can get. What he was able to get, whatever he was able to get his hands on, he took it and he ran with it, and he used her as a ladder over the years to getting to where he
I
needed to
agree.
be. You know, And
Right.
just like Mel said, she was already like, probably damaged, broken. She was already a little loopy loop when she was younger. And it was an easy thing for him. So he got a girl, I got a girlfriend. So somebody wants me. Yeah, but the person that wants you was crazy as hell. You got the chick from Misery, Black Form. Like
Right.
she's gonna be in there breaking somebody's feet soon. Like
It's been said, and I think that it's a fact from a therapist standpoint, mental health standpoint, that narcissists tend to attract broken people. Broken people attract narcissists, and that's just the way it is until somebody heals. Whether
right,
the narcissist figures out, hey, I'm narcissistic, I probably need to go get me some help,
right,
or the broken person heals from whatever, from their past, present, past relationships, whatever the case might be. And until those two heal or one heals, they're always going to attract each other.
yep,
So neither one of them are healed. He just got tired of being in the public eye. That's all that was. He got tired of being in the public eye for the wrong reasons. Not
right,
tired of being in the public eye because he always wanted to be there. But
right.
he got tired of being there for the wrong reason. So now he's like, all right, well, let me go. Let me just go ahead and divorce her so I can go live my life. Cause I'm sick of this.
At the end of the day, that's probably what he really wants to do is live his life. I mean, it's evident. And then the thing is too, was sometimes not what's not mentioned is when you're dating somebody that young. Sometimes there's a lot of outside pressure going on too because you've been with this one person on and off. Because I think they broke up once before, and you have these people who have this expectation for you for them to
Right.
stick together and all that stuff because they were together since they were teenagers. When you're 14, 13 years old, you don't know nothing about love, dating, none of
Yep,
that. You just doing what feels right at the time, and
exactly.
you growing up with this person. And I hate to say it, a lot of situations that I heard of with that going on when they dated so young, it does usually have a lot of issues because you're growing up together and you grow
Right.
differently every time. So what you knew
Yeah.
this person to be when they were 14, they're
Yep.
gonna be different when they in their 20s, and then in their 30s. Like that's just what happens. And you trying to make it work. You're trying to stick together because you feel like you were
Mhm.
supposed to because y'all were together
Right.
that long and y'all grew up
Yeah.
together. And it's sad. Like I don't really care for him because of the fact that he knew that he was doing dirt and did a misservice by trying to put himself as this relationship guru and trying to give everybody advice when he wasn't following that same thing.
Shoot,
And
she need to go back and watch some of them videos of his. Maybe
she
she gets some help.
She be I truly believe she probably was in that house beating the hell out of him with a Bible. I really feel like she was in there tearing his ass up, making him quote scriptures, like I feel like she was in it, and I feel like he's a battered man, and I feel like she's a mentally abused woman, and they just need to go on and leave each other alone. And I remember, Mel, you said something in the very beginning when we first started talking about this. You was like, I've never said this before, but I'm happy they're getting divorced. And it's because, and you know why? And it's because divorce has become such the devil's word to so many people, and
Mhm.
it's not. Divorce is not bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? So many people have been beaten
All
over
right.
the head over years with thinking that divorce is a bad thing when sometimes it's needed. If this relationship is not
Oh, it's
healthy
very
on some
necessary.
levels, it's absolutely needed. You know what I'm saying? And this is my problem that I have with the older generation, is because they're so quick to call us young folks weak when we file for divorce. But that's because we're not weak. We're just not tolerating this shit. Because I'm telling you right now, Hattie Mae dealt with Willie Earl and all of his illegitimate children that he had out there on her in their marriage. That woman was coming and dropping them babies off at the door and saying, "Now you take care of them." And Hattie Mae dealt with that shit all that, all them years. We are not doing that shit. I wish a woman
Right.
would
That's not
start
strength.
off.
That's
That's
not strength.
yeah. And
That's weak.
this is the reason why they call this is the reason why they say y'all are so weak. Y'all run from marriage. Y'all don't want to hang in there and y'all not strong enough. The divorce is we don't talk about divorce. No, we do talk about divorce. When it's absolutely needed, yes, we do. Now we're talking about, oh, he just leave out some dirty socks and keep leaving a container of orange juice halfway empty in the refrigerator. Now I want a divorce. Come on, and that's petty.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
we
And I
talking
think,
about this man, you know what I'm saying? We talking about this
yeah,
man keep going out and cheating, repeatedly cheating. I want a divorce because clearly I'm not feeding him enough of what he needs at home that he keeps looking for elsewhere. Don't call me weak because I want out of this. I want to go find me a man that sees all of the worth that I have, sees everything that I bring to the marriage and the relationship, and says that is all that I need right there. And he doesn't look for it outside the house anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's just terrible that they put that stigma on divorce for, for so long. But I am very happy that they're getting the divorce so that they can both
Yeah.
properly go on with their life and
And
do the things
heal.
that
Please
and heal
heal.
for real.
right.
Now,
And
when
it's,
I say I don't normally say that, I don't normally say it because I don't like to speak on people's marriages at all. Because I'm not married, ain't never been married, so I don't have that experience to speak on it.
Hmm.
But divorce definitely in some cases it is definitely necessary.
necessary.
Definitely necessary. You don't just stay in
Right,
something for the kids or stay in it because we've been together for so long. And
right.
back in the day they had to stay together. Women didn't have nothing. Wasn't no
No
women, wasn't
education.
a lot of women out here in business. It wasn't a lot of women out here making their own names for themselves and
Right,
making their own ways unless the man just left.
right.
So a
Now,
lot
where
of
did
older women are saying that we weak because they stayed with Willie Earl that had 20 illegitimate kids outside of their marriage. No,
Mhm.
you couldn't leave because you didn't have no money. You didn't have no education. You didn't have no job. You had to stay.
and it's
Now
and
for
it's,
women, this is
I'm
the
sorry.
thing for women that are listening. Please don't take my words as, oh, go out now and boast on men and say, well, I got 3, 4 businesses. I'm making 6 million a year. I don't need to stay in this man. Don't do that. And don't talk yourself out of a happy marriage because you feel like you're doing better than what the
Right.
older women were doing 50 years ago. Don't be stupid. Now, I ain't saying that. I'm just saying be mindful of why you feel like you would need a divorce or would want to get a divorce. You know what I'm saying? It's okay for women to have just as much as men. Don't hang that over that man's head if you got more than that man. You know what I'm saying? Still play your wifely part, but I'm just saying
Please
if
do.
you start affecting you mentally, then yes, divorce is necessary.
Yes. Divorce counseling, something.
Um,
So we have come to the end. I'm glad we done talking about them. I wish Miss Janae all the best. And even Mr. Jackson, get your lives together. Go get some counseling, get some help, heal, and move on.
right.
And speaking of mental health and counseling and all of that, as we come to a close of this show, unfortunately, we want to say rest in peace to Twitch. DJ Twitch passed away on this week from apparent suicide. And we want to say rest in peace to Twitch. We also want to touch on suicide just for a quick second. If anybody has thoughts that they rather not share with family, friends, or neighbors or a doctor, you can call. There's a shortcut to the number now. It's not an 800 number anymore. You can dial 988 from your phone and talk to someone 24 hours a day, 7 days of the week. Suicide is not the answer. It's not the answer. We don't know the details behind why he did it. We do feel for his family. Prayers go out to his kids, his wife, his extended family. Like I said, we don't know the details behind. We know he left a note behind, but it's a very unfortunate situation. Mental health is very important.
Yes, it
Take
is.
care of your mental health. If you're not feeling your best, take a break. If a break is not working, go talk to somebody. And
Mhm.
don't feel like you're crazy if you're going to see a therapist. Don't feel like you're crazy if you're going to see a psychiatrist. A lot of people have done it and just ain't talking about it.
Right.
So you ain't crazy for doing it. But please know that suicide is not the answer.
Yes, it is. It is. Yes, it's definitely other ways to fix your problems, and that is a very permanent solution. And it's not a solution, but and first off, and I also want to note that especially for men's mental health, it's concerning
Please,
because per
please.
Wikipedia,
Men
Males
especially.
die by suicide 3 to 4 times more than females do. And
Wow.
for males, the suicide rate has increased 3% from 2020 to 2021 alone.
Mhm.
Um, and and of course, we can go into the reasons behind that. I know men, they usually feel like they have to carry the world on their shoulders. They don't have outlets. They feel like because they're men, it's stigmatized to be weak, quote unquote, or to need help, or to not feel strong all the time.
Right.
And that is one stigma that we have to kill it, because it is obviously causing people and to hold in emotions and deal with with certain things and fighting demons by themselves when they don't have to.
Right.
And I just wanted to put that out there because it's really becoming a problem. It always has been, but it's increasing. And um and I just really want to let men know that even when you feel like you can't say anything, or you feel like you don't have the space or a person to take in your problems, you likely do. A lot of
Mhm.
times I hear a lot of guys say they feel like they couldn't talk to me, or they couldn't talk to their parents or to their friends, and they never tried it though.
Right.
So if you don't have the access to get therapy, or to get a psychiatrist, at least try to reach out to somebody, because you never know what help you can get just by saying, I need help. I need therapy, but I don't have access to it. You never know what type of
Right.
resources somebody else can give you, whether it's a friend, a coworker, a sibling, a parent, any of that. So I just wanted to touch on that, because that was alarming to me, to see that it's increased when it's already been high anyway.
Right.
Right.
I would just only thing that I'm gonna say about that is everyone, to everyone, especially men, you have a place. You have a place here on earth. You have a place here amongst the living. Um, you'll do more good here with us than you would anywhere else. And for the women who are in relationships with men and have a brother or things like that, it's okay every day to ask them, how are you doing? How was your day? Those simple words go so far. And don't just ask it and then turn your back and walk away. Ask it and actually be attentive, looking at that man, listen to what that man has to say. It means something, and the more you do it, the more he'll be actually looking for it, which will then open up those gates of him being able to trust you and being able to want to confide in you. But we've got to be consistent with how we love and care for our men.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's all
Yes.
I'm going to say about that, and rest in peace, Twitch.
Yes.
Rest in
With
peace.
that being said, again, suicide number, you can dial 988 from any cellular device. If you still have a landline, do it. You can do it from there too. As always, we thank you so much for watching us on today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share our videos with someone you know that might want to see these topics, might be interested in these topics. Coming up next week, we will have the Fed podcast on Wednesday at 8 p.m. And then the guys are back from the Indian Everything podcast on next Sunday. So, again, thanks you guys so much for watching. Ladies, we will see you guys next year.
Next year. That's right.
Next
Yeah.
year. Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy
Have a good
holidays.
Sunday. Peace.